What's good, YouTube? DM Gaming here, guys, and hope everybody's having an awesome freaking day, man. It's Sunday, you chilling. Everything should be good, man. So, guys, I really want to talk about this game and what people can really truly expect. Looking at comments, all right, looking at people talking about the game, I don't know if some people fully understand what we're looking at here. The community, the football gaming community for the longest has talked about getting a simulation style game. Okay. They've always been talking about it. We want simulation. We want simulation. We want simulation. And now we're looking at a game where, guys, it's freaking simulation. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's there. And people are complaining about some of the features. So this video is going to serve as to a before you pre-order, like, know what you're getting into. Before you start complaining, know what type of game this is, guys. And I talked about it in yesterday's video. So if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click the bell icon, guys. Subscribing costs you nothing at all, and it benefits me tremendously by doing this work. So, and what's that work, guys? The work is it's making that weight a little less hard on us. You know what I'm saying? We got something to talk about every day. So for those of y'all who really are looking at this game and you're seeing some of the things like the wear and tear system, you're seeing some of the things like the badges and the accolades or the attribute boost and things like that, and you're not bothering to go into the deep dive and actually read this stuff for yourself, like, guys, this is probably the most simulation football game we have ever experienced or will experience probably since NFL 2K5, okay? And that's saying a lot because that game was, to me, the mecca of football games, like the depth with the coaching. You in that game, you could even set up whether or not they lift weights, if they conditioning. You were setting up the style of practice. The presentation was phenomenal. Like, bruh, it was on another level all the way around, the immersiveness of that game. Guys, this game is going to top that. Presentation wise, we might not have a guy sitting behind a studio booth, but they're doing a single deep dive on presentation alone. Okay, that should let you know a lot about the game. And I was listening to Good Game Bro, and he talked about some stuff that I really hadn't heard anybody else talk about as far as the people who went to play the game. And a big deal that he talked about was he did mention about the presentation and stuff and how we're not going to be upset about it. Like, it's the presentation is top tier. Some people were upset because ESPN isn't a part of the game, even though we do have the announcers. EA Sports does not have an ESPN license to use those people, okay? Or they not the people. They can use the people. We can't use the ESPN branding and stuff like that. So College Game Day isn't a part of it. We don't have the ESPN ticker. But guys, you're seeing the score bug on the screen right now. And dude, that looks sick. I never once looked at that and said, oh my gosh, I wish it was the ESPN score bug. Does that make sense? And even though they can't do College Game Day, they can still do their own form of presentation. And there is a big key component that people are not understanding when it comes to EA Sports and this game. And that is solely, we don't have the NCAA umbrella hanging over our heads as well as the ESPN umbrella, because if ESPN was a part of this game, they could dictate what EA Sports does with this game, because, hey, they're saying, hey, you're using our likeness. You know, it may not be in reference to the players and the teams and stuff, but just by them being a part of the game, they do have a say-so in how this game is represented and presented from a presentation standpoint. But EA Sports don't have to worry about that. They don't have that over their heads. They don't have the NCAA hanging over their heads. That's why you see the freaking screenshot of the Colorado player with a one-sleeve hoodie under a tucked jersey. Like, bro, come on. Like, who does that? And it gives them complete freedom when it comes to presentation. And I don't think people have really understood that and understand how deep of a thing and how big of a magnitude that is for this game. The big thing about it is, guys, is that EA Sports and the people that are making this game are not the same group of people that make Madden. Madden is heavily heavily, I can't say that enough, influenced by the NFL. They have a strong arm over what happens with that game. So a bunch of stuff people complain about with Madden, guys, it ain't even an EA Sports deal. It's a NFL deal. But I have to digress. This is about college football. Guys, this game is going to be crazy realistic, man. This game is going to be stupid realistic. And I really feel like deep down inside, those people who really don't understand the intricacies of college football may have an issue with it. I can see it now. People are going to be complaining about recruiting. They're going to be complaining about the transfer portal. They're going to be complaining about the wear and tear system. They're going to be complaining about the badges that the players have. And guys, all of these things are realistic to the game. There are quarterbacks that are next level that go as rookies, like a CJ Stroud. Like, bro, he's able to start and produce at a high level in the NFL as a rookie. Okay, so how good of a quarterback do you think he was in the NFL? I don't think people truly understand how good top tier quarterbacks are in the NFL. Go back and watch some of the John Gruden quarterback camps and how these quarterbacks break things down on the board and things like that. Listen to some of these interviews when they talk about some of these high class rookies in the NFL and how brilliant of a mind they are. Like, you don't understand what goes into a football game, a college football game from an elite quarterback. When I tell you they are literally, some of them are literally a coach on the field. Only people that's going to truly understand that is people who understand the game of football and or who have played it to the collegiate level. Like, dude, it is legit, man, for some of these guys to be able to read when you're blitzing, to read when you're bluffing on a coverage. Like, dude, have y'all never heard of watching film? If you watch film enough on the team, you'll know when they're bluffing on coverage. There's always a giveaway somewhere. But EA Sports said, you know what? We're going to at least add something for the defense to counter that. And what they did with the field general Platinum perk is made it so that it shows you briefly and that the defense still has time to adjust. The problem is that a lot of people are wanting, well, I ain't even say a lot of people, I'm just seeing it a lot. They're wanting a balanced football game. They want to be able to go in with Texas and go in with Louisiana Tech and it be a balanced game. That's not going to happen. You're not even going to have a balanced game between Georgia and Alabama. Like, I don't get it. A good player, a good team, a good coach is supposed to excel. This is college football. This is not Madden. Stop comparing the two. They're two different beasts. They're two different animals. EA Sports has done a phenomenal job of capturing how college football plays. People are it shouldn't be a question as to, oh, this game plays different. Have y'all not played the NCAA games? They have always played different. They have always played faster than Madden, okay? And the reason why is because EA Sports, the group that works on college football, has always done a phenomenal job in capturing how great players play great and not so great players don't play so great. You know what I'm saying? And that's true to the game of college football. That's why you're going to have those big plays. That's why you can have these sort of quote unquote game breaking abilities. They're not really game breaking because they don't activate at all times. Okay. That's why the recruiting is the way that it is. That's why scouting is the way that it is. That's why the transfer portal is going to be the way that it is. Like, guys, this is a simulation football game. And the main cusp of everything that I'm hearing as far as negativity towards the game, with the wear and tear system, with the player abilities and things like that, it sounds to me like people are wanting a balanced game. Hey, you are not going to be able to freaking run with your running back 30, 40 times a game with your starting running back. That is extremely unrealistic to football. You are in a simulation game. You've been able to do that in Madden. We've been able to do it in games past. Now with this wear and tear system, it eliminates that. So now people can't spam the same plays over and over and over again. Okay? You're going to have to, even in an air raid offense where you're probably passing about 30, 40 times a game, you're going to have to learn to be more efficient with what you do. And I think that you know, I can understand people, ooh, it shouldn't be in the game. No, man. Only thing that I say that EA Sports should do as far as the wear and tear system is add a slider in the game the same way we do for fatigue and injuries and everything. That way, if it's still in the game, but if people want to turn it to 0, they can turn it to 0. If they want to adjust it to their liking, they can adjust it to their liking. But guys, whether or not you like it or not, it's going to be in the game. You are going to have to relearn how to play simulation football on console. And I love it. Trust me, you want the wear and tear system in the game because so many different elements of the game are going to be present because of this. Long gone are the days where you just play your starters for the entire game. Now you're going to have to really work in those backups, those backup running backs, those backup receivers, and not just your first string guys, but your third string as well, which also makes the game more realistic when it comes to Dynasty mode, because now you're going to have to pay attention to the depth that you have on your team, and you're going to get the full sting of teams that have no depth, where the starter, say I'm playing with a Kennesaw State and my starting running back, who's my stud, is only a 75 overall, but my backup is a 50 overall. Now you're going to see what it feels like to really play college football, to really struggle to build a program, the stress of the transfer portal, the stress of recruiting and landing those big time recruits, and really considering, because now you can't focus all your elements, all your time on this 5-star recruit. You're going to have to really consider gaining depth at those other positions. Not only that, but because of the way that the game is set up, you are also going to have to pay attention to having some seniority on your team. You're going to see the benefit of having a team that is full of juniors and seniors that have some good freshmen and sophomore coming up. Redshirting a player is going to be even more prevalent because freshmen on the field, guys, freshmen on the field, underclassmen, young guys, freshmen and sophomores are not going to have the same mental capacities and impacts as a junior or a senior. It's going to be vastly different. Where a senior would make a mistake, his composure may drop a little. A freshman who makes that same mistake will take a bigger hit to their composure. Guys, this is extremely realistic. So understand this. You are not getting a Madden. Heck, you're not even getting an NCAA 14. This is a completely different game that EA Sports has done for us that you are going to have to learn how to play all over again. We cried and cried and cried for realness in a football game, and now we get it. And you have people complaining. At the end of the day, you're not going to be able to please everybody. I completely understand that, but it's crazy when we ask for something and then we get it and then people are upset about it. Like, God, the wear and tear system, it's realistic. Recruiting, the transfer portal, that stuff is realistic. And even though they have NIL, it still has brand marketing and stuff like that. That's realistic. And Road to Glory, Jesus Christ, guys. People complaining, I get it. I was one of the ones. I didn't like that they took the high school out of Road to Glory, okay? And I'm not bashing y'all for being upset about it because I didn't like it either. I was really looking forward to playing through high school, the experience of getting recruited and things like that. Guys, but there was a thing in NCAA games before the high school part was in, was called Campus Legend. And I've heard some people say, how can you take out high school and still call it Road to Glory? Guys, because the Road to Glory is the road to the Heisman Trophy, which starts in college, not high school. Does that make sense? It's still a road to glory. Glory is what? Becoming a campus legend. And once you even get done with the high school part, you don't even think about that. You got 4 years to play in college. And I can see probably that's why they took it out, because they want to get you into the action as soon as possible. They want you to get into the college part, go through all those things. If you've ever played the campus legend in college football, it is completely different than the high school portion of Road to Glory. Guys, let's be real right now. Road to Glory is bare bones. The biggest selling point of Road to Glory was playing in high school. And for those of y'all who've played the older NCAA games when you had Campus Legend, you understand the true depth of Campus Legend. Like, would it have been cool to have high school in there too? Yes, but everything that they've had to put into this game, the time and resources, I can understand why they probably have left that out. It may come in a later rendition of the game, who knows, honestly. But guys, there's gonna be a lot of stuff in Road to Glory that, guys, once we start playing it, you're not gonna care that there's no high school road to the college football. Does that make sense? So it is, a bummer that it's not in there, guys. But some people are making way too big of a deal about it. Not knowing the depth that Road to Glory is gonna have, from NIL to training to having to make sure your GPA is up. Like, all of those things play a really big factor. Earning your coach's trust, guys, and they've even added a huge layer of realism in that if say I'm playing quarterback, and I earn my coach's trust, even in Road to Glory, because this wasn't previously done. In Road to Glory, your coaches can still leave. Okay, if my coach leaves, I've earned ultimate trust with him, and he leaves, guess what? The new coach that comes in, I have to now rebuild that trust with him. Does that make sense? And it's also set up to where now you have the transfer portal. So say wherever that coach goes, you could transfer to that same school that he's at, or go to a different school and start over your coach trust and leadership and things of that nature. People are saying that it's a 10 to 20 hour story mode, guys, but that is more of a setup. You are still from what I've heard, I'm just, putting that out there. From what I've heard from other people who have played it, that no, that's not, or have seen it, that it has some story elements, but it's not one of those where the entire mode, your entire collegiate career, is going to be done in 10 to 20 hours. They're like, no, that it's going to take longer than that. You still will be able to play your 4 seasons and stuff like that. And we know that to be true also, because it even tells you in the game, or talking about it briefly, that after those 4 years, or at the end of each year, you will be able to transfer. So guys, I think we are going to be blown away with what they're going to do with Road to Glory and Dynasty mode. But just understand this, guys, that this is a true simulation football game, and it is an amazing foundation to build upon. People are upset about the creative players, that, oh, I can't edit players that are already in the game. What did you expect from having name, image, and likeness being an actual thing, guys? That is a small price to pay to get this game back. I don't want to have to edit Quinn Ewers. Like, wow, I could just edit a generic quarterback that's on the roster. I don't want to have to create Arch Manning. I know some people are big about wanting to create their favorite players that aren't in the game, and yeah, that is sort of a bummer, but it's not a deal breaker. Why? Because a lot of those guys are gonna be out of your dynasty in 2 to 3 years anyway. So don't sweat the big stuff, if that makes sense, or the little things. That's a very minuscule thing for somebody to be like, I'm not getting the game because I can't, edit a player that's already in the game. And then people are upset that, hey, I can't take these dynasty guys into Madden, not understanding the ins and outs of things, bashing EA for it, guys, when it is a legal issue, because they want to put real players into the game. They have their licensing, and they can't transfer them to another EA Sports title because those players are not a part of the NFLPA. If they were, then they could, but they're not, so they can't. Does that make sense? So it's not EA being lazy as to why we can't put our draft classes in there. And people are saying, well, down the road, once all those players in your dynasty are out of the system, why wouldn't you be able to do it then? I'm pretty sure EA Sports thought of that, guys. And if you've ever programmed a game, guys, it is extremely difficult and to kind of do stuff like that. If they could do something like that, they would. The reason why they're not, and I'm pretty sure they could, but I don't blame them for not doing it, because if they did it, there'd probably be a way around it. Somebody would find a way around it to get those guys like the name players into the draft class and stuff like that. Like, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. People can just create them in Madden like we've been doing for the past 11 years anyway. Let's not act like spoiled, entitled gamers here. You know what I'm saying? All in all, this game is going to blow us away. Is it gonna come with its problems? Every game does. There's no such thing as a perfect game. But no, this is not a Madden reskin. I don't see how you can watch what we're seeing and say that. I don't see how you can read the deep dive and see what they're putting in the game and say that. Is it gonna have its issues? I'm pretty sure it will. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing a beta. I guarantee you there'll probably be some kind of server issues. But give people time to work on it. Those things can be fixed. It's not a deal breaker, guys. All in all, this game is going to be phenomenal, and I'm going to pre-order it. If you're not ready for a true simulation experience, hey, pay your $10 for EA access, play the 10-hour trial and see how that goes. Wait till gameplay comes out, because at the end of the day, guys, nobody's making you buy this game. Nobody's making you pre-order the game. Does that make sense? So let people be happy that's happy, man. Don't go bashing people for being happy about certain features, and don't go writing off the game like thinking, oh, this is a game breaker and things like that. So I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. Like I said, this is a before you pre-order kind of video, just letting you know what you really getting into, and that's a true simulation football game. Till next time, y'all, thanks for watching. Peace.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Ready. We ready.